Hello class and welcome. My name is Mary Yudenji and I'll take you through the unit fundamentals of office management and practice. And today we are going to look at the topic decision making process in organizations. So today's topic, we have the learning objectives, and by the end of this topic the learner should be able to define the terms decision making and decision making process. B, demonstrate the importance of decision making in the workplace. C, identify the various types of decisions in the workplace. D, apply the decision making process stroke model in an organization. And 5, identify the limitations of decision making. So we start by defining the terms decision. What is a decision? A decision can be defined as a course of action consciously chosen from available alternatives for the purpose of desired results. Definition by J.L. Massey. We have another definition of the term decision. A decision is an act of choice wherein an executive forms a conclusion about what must be done in a given situation. A decision represents a course of behavior chosen from a number of possible alternatives by D.E. M.C. Fallard. We have the second term, that is decision making. Decision making is the selection based on some criteria from two or more possible alternatives. Definition by George Terry. And the last term is decision making process by Triwada and Newport. They define decision making process as decision making involves the selection of a course of action from among two or more possible alternatives in order to arrive at a solution for a given problem. Meaning of decision. Decision making is a process, and this is a process of selecting the best among the different alternatives, meaning that we have different alternatives, and when we are making the decision, we must select the best among the different alternatives. It is also the act of making a choice. We choose from the many alternatives that we have. And 3, there are so many alternatives found in the organization and departments. And therefore, decision making is defined as the selection of choice of one best alternative. And we should note that before making decisions, all alternatives should be evaluated from which advantages and disadvantages are known. Note, decision making is one of the important functions of management. Without other management functions such as planning, organizing, directing, controlling, staffing cannot be conducted. This is because decision making is in managerial function is very, very important. There are elements of the decision situation, that is, for us to make these decisions, what elements must be present? 1, we have the decision makers. In an organizational scenario, this could be the managers at whatever level. Decisions are made at all levels in the organization. 2, their goals to be observed. And this means, why are we making the decisions? We are making the decisions because they are goals to be served. And 3, they are relevant alternatives. That means for us to make the best decision, we need to come up with relevant alternatives. And from the relevant alternatives, we are able to order. We order the alternatives so that we get the most important decision, that the most important alternative. And 5, there is the choice of alternatives. That means the alternative that we are going to choose from the relevant alternatives. Importance of decision making. What is the importance of decision making in an organization? 1, decision making is important because we have the implementation of managerial function. That means without decision making, different managerial functions such as planning, organizing, directing, controlling, staffing cannot be conducted. 2, the second importance of decision making is that there is pervasiveness of decision making. This means that the decision is made in all managerial activities and in all functions of the organization, and it must be taken by all staff. This means that decision making cuts at all levels. 3, there is evaluation of managerial performance. That is, when the decision is correct, it is understood that the manager is qualified, able, and efficient. When the decision is wrong, it is understood that the manager is not qualified. We also have another importance because decision making is helpful in planning and policies. That means in any organization, we have organizational plans and we come up with policies to guide the organization. So decision making is helpful in planning and policies. That is, any policy or plan is established through decision making. The other importance is selecting the best alternatives. Selecting the best alternatives. That is, decision makers evaluate various advantages and disadvantages of every alternative and select the best alternative. The other importance is that it brings about successful operation of business. That is, every individual, department, and organization make the decisions. In this competitive world, organization can exist when the correct and appropriate decisions are made. Therefore, correct decisions help in successful operation of a business. Decision making is important to achieve the organizational goals stroke objectives within given time and budget. It searches the best alternative, utilizes the resources properly, and satisfies the employees at the workplace. And as a result, organizational goals or objectives can be achieved as per the desired result. So those are the importance of decision making in an organization. So next we look at decisions that are taken in an organization, and these decisions are related to and not limited to: one, we can make decisions on goals and objectives of the organization. We can also make decisions concerning the organizational structure. We can make decisions in relation to the organizational design. We make decisions on budgets. We make decisions on time period. We make decisions on staff in regard to their salaries, wages, working hours, promotion, etc. We also make decisions on the marketing mix, where we look at the products, the pricing, the place, and promotion. We also make decisions in regard to research and design. We have various types of decisions that can be made in an organization. And one, we have programmed and non-programmed decisions. We are going to look at the difference between these two types of decisions. Programmed decisions are concerned with the problems of repetitive nature or routine type matters. And a standard procedure is followed for tackling such problems, e.g., purchase of raw material, granting leave to an employee, and supply of goods and implements to the employees, etc. These decisions are taken generally by lower level managers. In non-programmed decisions, these relate to difficult situations for which there is no easy solution. For example, opening of a new branch of the organization, and these decisions are normally taken at the higher level. Two, we have routine and strategic decisions. Routine and strategic decisions. Routine decisions are related to the general functioning of the organization. They do not require much evaluation and analysis and can be taken quickly. These are the routine types of work that are undertaken in an organization. And strategic decisions are important, for these affect the objectives, the organizational goals, and other important policy matters. And these decisions usually involve huge investments or funds, and therefore they are taken after careful analysis and evaluation of many alternatives. And these decisions are taken at the higher level of management. This is where we draw up the strategic plans of the organization. Three, we have the tactical stroke policy and operational decisions. Tactical decisions pertains to various policy matters of the organization. They are taken by the top management and have a long-term impact on the functioning of the concern. And these decisions may be regarding the location of plant. This is the transfer, volume of production, and channels of distribution. Tactical, policies, etc. are policy decisions. That means we need to have policies to guide these decisions. And the other type of the decision is the operating decisions. Operating decisions relate to day-to-day functioning or operations of a business. And the middle and lower level managers take these decisions. 4, we have the organizational and personal decisions. Organizational decisions take place when an individual takes the decision as an executive in the official capacity. This is known as an organizational decision. Takes the decision as an executive in the official capacity, the legitimate power. And the other type of decision is the personal decisions. If a decision is taken by the executive in the personal capacity, thereby affecting his personal life, it is known as a personal decision. And the authority of taking organizational decisions may be delegated, whereas personal decisions cannot be delegated. 5, we have major and minor decisions. Major decisions are taken by the top management. These entail decisions pertaining to purchase of new factory premises is a major decision. Minor decision can be taken by the office superintendent, for example, the purchase of office stationery. 6, and the last type of decision, we have individual and group decisions. Individual decisions take place when the decision is taken by a single individual, and usually routine type decisions are taken by individuals within the broad policy framework of the organization. And we have group decisions. These are taken by groups of individuals constituted in the form of a standing committee. It's very common in organizations where we have various types of committees, and the main aim in taking group decisions is the involvement of maximum number of individuals in the process of decision making. So next we are going to look at the decision making process stroke model. It has various steps. We start with step 1, where we identify the decision to be made. We identify the decision to be made. Step 2, we gather relevant information. Step 3, we identify the options. Step 4, we evaluate the evidence. Step 5, we choose among the alternatives. Step 6, we have to implement the chosen alternative. And finally, we analyze the results. So in step 1, we are going to look at those steps and what is entailed in each step. Step 1, you identify the decision to be made. And these are the questions you should ask yourself. 1, what is the problem on hand? Because for you to make a decision, there is a goal that you want to achieve. And 2, what is the objective to be achieved? What is the objective to be achieved? That means, will this objective solve the problem at hand? And 3, you also have to look at how the decision will impact people or the organization. Will this decision impact the people or the organization either negatively or positively? And lastly, you also have to look at the urgency and criticality of the decision. Is it a decision that has to be made urgent, and is it critical to the operations of the organization? Step 2, you gather relevant information. Gather relevant information. That is, it is important to gather all relevant information about the decision to be made with regards to the above mentioned points. It will include identifying all various parties, stakeholders who will be part of the decision, and how the decision will have impact on different groups or individuals or the organization, etc. So gather the relevant information, identify all the various parties, who are the stakeholders, and how will the decision have an impact on these different groups or individuals or the organization at hand. Step 3, identify the options. Identify the options. That is, we need to identify clearly all the available alternative options, paths, or actions for the decision to be made. That means we may come up with so many options, and therefore we need to identify clearly all the available alternative options. Then step 4, we evaluate the evidence. Evaluating the evidence has to do with looking at all the options. Looking at all the options that we have identified in step 3. So we evaluate all the options with their pros and cons. These are, we look at the advantages and their disadvantages. And then step 5, we choose among alternatives. This is where we have to choose the best alternative based on the above careful analysis of all the alternatives. Step 6, implement the chosen alternative. This is where we put the chosen alternative on the ground. We implement the actions associated with the alternative path or option being selected. And step 7, we analyze the results. Analyze the results. This is where we need to analyze the outcome achieved after the implementation of the actions selected in the above step. In other words, did our alternative work? Was it effective? Was our decision effective? However much we make decisions in the organization, we have limitations. There are limitations of decision making, and some of the limitations of decision making are: 1, it's time consuming. That means a lot of time, a lot of precious time is consumed for decision making. This means that if we are to come up with good decisions, then we have to spend a lot of precious time. 2, second limitation is compromised decisions. This means that in group decisions, there is a difference of opinion. Not everybody has the same opinion, and this results in a compromised decision. 3, that limitation is subjective decisions. That is, individual decisions are not objective. 4, fourth limitation, we have biased decisions. That is, sometimes decisions are biased. That is, the manager makes the decisions which only benefits himself and his group. And the other limitation is on the limited analysis. Limited analysis has to do with inexperienced researchers, and wrong sampling also results in a limited analysis. And this means that this limited analysis results in bad decisions. We have another limitation, that is the uncontrollable environmental factors. These environmental factors include the political, the social, technological, and other factors. We commonly refer to them as the pestle. These factors are dynamic in nature and keeps on changing every day. It's like what is happening in the environmental today. If these factors change in the wrong direction, the decisions will also divert and go wrong. The other limitation is on uncertain future. Decisions are made for the future. However, the future is very uncertain. Therefore, it is very difficult to take decisions for the future. And this has to do with the strategic plans. We normally take the plans for the future. And lastly, responsibility is diluted. Responsibility is diluted. This means that in an individual decision, only one manager is responsible for the decision. However, in a group decision, all managers are responsible for the decision, and therefore this responsibility is diluted. In conclusion, decision making is a vital skill in the business workplace, particularly for managers and those in leadership positions. Following a logical procedure like the one outlined here, along with being aware of the common challenges, can help ensure both thoughtful decision making and positive results. And timely and well thought decision making is extremely important for success in today's time, and therefore we must take a logical approach for decision making, and organizations must also inculcate the habit of decision making. We have an activity. Assuming that you are the office manager in Faida Nyingi company, there are various problems facing the company. Identify at least one problem and solve it using the decision-making model stroke process. And B, how would you overcome the limitations of decision-making? I have the references for your further reading, and this brings us to the end of our lesson. Thank you, and may God bless you.
These televised lectures supplement our robust online learning going on our MKU online platform. You can view more on our televised lectures via our online platform. We are in a digital era, and Mount Kenya University knows this. The following are the steps to follow so as to complete your online application. Download the application form from the website www.mku.ac.ke. Attach copies of your academic certificates and ID. Pay the application fees via M-Pesa pay bill number 270988. Your ID is the account number. 2,000 shillings is the charge for a postgraduate. You can also deposit in the bank accounts provided on the website. Then email all the above to apply@mku.ac.ke.